All right. Well, again, this is going up on YouTube, but yeah, I'm gonna do something I hardly ever do, which is, you know, restart my game because it crashed. Okay, let's try this again. All right, totally the first take right now. So yeah, this is going up on YouTube, so I might as well say a few words. This is hopefully a short video. I'm not gonna go really in-depth here, but yeah, I'm gonna do something I normally don't do a lot, which is basically make a guide on something like this. And I'm obviously talking about the latest free 4-star ticket for JP. So I'm gonna be picking mine right here on this session, but I'm also gonna be talking about my personal top 5. I thought about it, not a whole lot, but I did. But yeah, in case people are interested, I'll be talking about this. Again, I won't be going super in-depth here, because that's what my tier lists are for. So if you ever want to see a better reasoning as to why I like a said servant in these lists, feel free to check the tier lists of the respective classes and, you know, find a better reasoning there. I'm just going to keep this brief. And again, apologies if this came out. This is coming over a day after the ticket is available for exchange. So if someone already picked, it is what it is. Not that you should maybe, you know, pick what I say you should pick anyway. It's just my opinion of things. But yeah, I had no plans to do this anyway. I just kind of felt like doing it because, you know, why not? People seem to enjoy the tier list, so maybe some people want to hear my opinion about this as well. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I'll start with my honorable mentions before I get to the top 5, because there's a lot of good stuff here. Even if this is only permanent in story locks, there's a lot of really good stuff here. So I'll briefly go through some of my honorable mentions here. First one being the OG Emiya himself. He's an absolutely crazy good crit DPS, and also can do a bit of farming as well. But he's mostly used for challenge quests. But if you really like want a solid archer DPS as well, you can't really go wrong with him. So he's just a solid one for sure. Another honorable mention right here, Kairon. Very great as both a DPS and a support archer. He can do both. He's absolutely great, especially after his MP buff. His DPS potential went way up. So again, don't sleep on Kairon. He's fantastic. And a third archer as well. A lot of these in my honorable mentions. Zenobia, one of the latest 4 stars added into the game, and you can tell her kit is very modern and it works. It makes a lot of sense. Can loop, can do some great DPS, great crit DPS as well, like Emiya. So honestly, she might even be more consistent than Emiya himself, which says a lot. So can't go wrong with Zenobia either. Now, this is an honorable mention. Some people might be surprised it's not a top 5. Faye Tristan. Not in my top 5, but yeah, it's also obviously a very solid unit. Like, here's a rule of thumb. Every 4-star servant from Lost Belt 6 is good. So that's all you need to know, basically. So even Faye Tristan, Sith, whatever you want to call her, you know, great. Very great 4-star unit. But not in my top 5. Alright, then we got a bit more. Let me scroll down. This is a bit of a gap here. Helena. Especially if your account is new, she's a great pick. If you're lacking a lot of supports, she can still be an absolutely great, like, not a massive support, but a good support who also does DPS to help you out with farm and or, you know, some challenge quests. So Helena will always be relevant. I still want to see her buffed more, but even as is, she's not a bad pick by any means. Same thing goes for Edison. Yeah, I'm actually giving him an honorable mention as well. As after his latest buff, he's actually really good. He's now really good. Mostly as a sub DPS slash support like Helena, but yes, don't sleep on Edison nowadays. I know a lot of people hate him because of how he looks, but yes, he's actually a very good unit. Don't sleep on him after that buff. So check out my buff breakdown video on him if you really want to see what I truly think about him now. And I think, no, 2 more. Okay, apologies for the amount of these. But yeah, Nidocris as well. Same reason as one of the top 5 I have. Can't really go wrong with someone who goes to 0 from MP gauge, 0 from 100 to 100. She's AoE, so she's a great farmer. So again, if you're, this is mostly a recommendation for newer accounts. If you already have an established account, you don't really need Nidocris, but she's always going to be fine. And especially for a new account, very good farmer. Just very solid. And then the last honorable mention, again, this is going to be surprising to a lot of people as well, not being in the top 5, is actually Herc. So yeah, a big honorable mention to Herc. The reason I didn't include him in my top 5 is because he's mostly really broken when you have the Bond CE. Now, obviously, if you do pick him and farm that Bond CE, he would probably be number 1. I would say. So again, this is only because, you know, he takes way more work than the others in this list do, so absolutely an amazing unit still, greatest anchor in the game, bar none. But yeah, the only reason he's not in the top 5 is because of how much work he needs to get that Bond C. Now, let's get on to the top 5 then. Coming in at number 5 is going to be, if I'm not blind, which I am, there you go, Barghest. Probably not a huge surprise to a lot of people. She actually made my top 5, unlike Sith. Very close for her though, but yeah, she's really good. She really embodies the Buster meta really well. So she's very good with all of the meta Buster supports. Still very good on team scenarios as well, but obviously most people know her from the solo potential, right? So that's probably the best case scenario. She obviously can't solo everything there is, but when she can do it, it usually works out pretty well. Just a very good, solid, modern kid. A prime example of press red equals enemy dead. So Barghest, definitely a top tier 4-star unit. Now, you saw me skip on Sith, but my number 4 will actually go to OG Tristan. Yes, indeed. Now, some people might prefer Sith over Tristan. I don't. And this will, if I get flack for this, sure. I'm pretty sure this is how my tier list went as well. I do believe OG Tristan is indeed better than Sith in most scenarios. I do. They have a lot of similarities, obviously. First of all, Tristan obviously already just has the better version of the first skill. Let's not even argue about that. It's just flat out better. I do like Sith's second skill more, so she has that. And then the third skill is kind of different, but I think in most scenarios, I do prefer the one Tristan has. So what does he do? Here's what he does, okay. AoE cleanse, AoE heal, AoE evade, buff removal, crit chance down, and what he has that Sith doesn't have is an upgraded MP. That has better effects to begin with, because let's be real, curses are a meme. So he also has a much better version of the MP as well. So what does this man not do? He's crazy. He's just a really top tier 4-star single target DPS / utility support. Again, you can totally pick Sith. There's a reason she was in my honorable mentions as well. Fantastic 4-star as well. But I do believe personally that OG Tristan nowadays is the better choice. And again, if I get flack for this, so be it. Now, number 3. Probably not a surprise for a lot of people as well. Percival. Again, much like what I said earlier, all of these Lost Build 6 4-stars, they're kinda nuts. Kinda nuts. Percival, definitely not an exception. So, what does he do? I mean, first of all, he's a loop god. Probably one of the easiest units to loop in this entire game. Very effortless. Even if you don't have like Castoria or something else, it's so easy to do. Can also go from 0 to 100 with Black Rail, which is great. Now, that's not the only thing he does. He's also a very solid tank. He has a 3-turn taunt on a 5-turn cooldown. And he can offer some good protection for a team in the form of a targeted evade, heals, and his MP heals with good targeting as well, always prioritizing the lowest HP on your front line. He's just really nuts. Just absolutely a nuts 4-star unit. So for both challenge quests and farming, I would say EX tier. He's really damn good. Now this placement might shock somebody, because coming at number 2, I do have Hephaestion here, or Faker, whatever you want to call her. So yes, Hephaestion is my number 2. Now, again, maybe another shocker, because people know I don't really like the Alter Ego or Pretender class, because they're basically the same, but, you know, Cavalry versus Knights. But, especially for a newer account, she would be an amazing pick. Not only is she a very easy to work with single target DPS, but because of her class, she's also going to be extremely versatile. You can pick her against any Knight class, obviously. But honestly, even against casters, because of the way her skill works, giving her full class advantage. So she's not even a bad option against casters. Obviously, if you have amazing riders, you're probably going to go with them. But again, mostly she ranks at number 2 because she's insanely flexible. 0 to 100 MP, love it. CE choices are insanely easy for her as well because of that. And she's a great arts DPS, and she works really well with all the meta art supports as well. So, very, very solid. And again, if you've been paying attention and someone has been missing so far, this number one shouldn't be too big of a surprise, and there you go. Is Astraya. I do believe she is, honestly, if we don't count Bansi Herc and Mashu, if you want to count her, I do honestly think she might be the best 4-star in the game. I truly believe so. She is beyond amazing and absolutely worth your time. One of the best single target rulers in the game, including 5 stars. And that says a lot. Best class in the game as well. Obviously helps her case a lot. The only downside she has is that she doesn't have a real proper hard defensive skill. But because of the way she works, you can end a lot of fights before it becomes an issue anyway. Trust me. Trust me on that. And especially if you're lucky enough to pull Castoria from this ongoing raid up, or you had her from before, even better. Just an amazing combo. So yeah, just a stupid good 4-star, arguably the best in the game, even among limiteds as well. So someone's who are not even in this list. So yeah. And even at MP1, decent damage because she has seen an MP upgrade. She had no place getting an MP upgrade because she was already very good, but they gave it to her anyway. So yes, very, very solid. So that's my top 5. Again, you know, I understand if some people want to see some of this stuff shuffled around, maybe even include some of the the honorable mentions, of course. I can completely understand. Maybe I even shafted someone completely who I didn't even give an honorable mention. That's fine. That's why opinions exist. But I thought about this a bit, and this is what I'm gonna go with my top 5. Now, I guess if you still want to stick around, you can see what I'm gonna pick. It's nothing that I mentioned, because, you know, I already have the stuff I mentioned, but my pick will be Lancer Alter. This is kind of funny as well, because my last free 5-star pick on JP was the 5-star Arturia Lancer, so now I will have both. In case you're wondering why I'm picking her, I'm only missing 3 units from this list on my JP account, and she's one of them, and she's the one that interests me the most. Obviously not a top tier pick, but I already have the good stuff anyway for 4 stars, so yeah. Here we go. Boom, boom. Got myself some altar titties, boys. So there you go. I guess we can see her before I leave this. Boom. Oh yeah, the other 2 were Emiya Alter and... So yeah, the only other options I was missing was Emiya Alter and Danzo, but I ended up going with Arturia Lancer, so there you go. So yeah, this was hopefully a short video. Hopefully I didn't ramble on for too long. If you really want to see better... like in-depth explanations why I like the servants that I named in this video, feel free to check the tier lists for all the classes they belong to. I go more in-depth there and have fun with whoever you picked. You can't really go wrong, but yeah, these are just the ones I would recommend. Anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Helps out a great deal. Subscribe for more. Don't miss out on future uploads. There's definitely more to come, and otherwise... I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and peace out.